there's a lot of hate for pretty much no reason.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Veronica, i.e. this mad mama who's over on TikTok. She does have a YouTube channel, but her TikTok is mostly where everything's happening. She is very controversial. Her subreddit is growing. I have made a couple videos on her now because I've expressed my concerns. There's just a few things about the channel which are just highly suspicious. Veronica actually came on my radar because she started posting content about Alicia and how they're both best friends. And then when you then delve a little deeper, you realise that things are just a little bit strange. There's definitely a lot of strange things going on. A lot of people over on the subreddit and just TikTok in general are saying that, you know, the kids are unkept and, you know, allegations of the kids not being fed enough, the kids don't receive proper education, all of these different allegations being thrown around. People say that, you know, she's addicted to having kids and she's not properly taking care of them, just all of this different stuff. And if you do delve a little bit deeper, you come to the realization that she's obviously had a very troubled life. She has a very troubled story, but there's one thing that I do definitely think Veronica wants to be known. Veronica wants to be famous. Veronica wants people talking about her. You can tell she has done so many interviews and, you know, she's been on TV. She's been in the news. She's done all this different stuff. And I came across this article where people were talking about it from the New York Post, I'm pretty sure. This is what the title is. And I went and gave it a little read just before I thought that I'd do a video on it, because some of the stuff that she's saying and some of the stuff that has been said is just outrageous. I just want to give it a little read because there's quite a lot of things which do contradict what she does say on her socials. So let's just give it a little read. So the name of this is I'm pregnant, have 11 kids and want 5 more, TikTok's star. Controversial TikTok star Veronica, famous for having 11 kids and another bun in the oven, could barely contain her delight last November when she posted a video announcing her new identity, Grandma. We have some exciting news to share. The 36-year-old told her 140,000 followers, revealing that her oldest child, who still lives at home, is set to deliver a baby in June. That means that the 12th child, a boy in April, will be 2 months older than his nephew or niece. Not everybody is happy about the imminent births. Merritt, whose offspring range from 2 to 21 years of age, told the Post that internet critics are having a field day. One mudslinger commented, "You are too old to be popping out any more crotch goblins." And another wrote, "This family is dystopian nightmare fuel." And the cycle goes on. Now, what I will say to this is that a lot of people, it's not necessarily because they just have a large family, it's because of how she presents the way that their family runs on social media. People have, you know, she's come on and said that they can't afford like the heating and they can't afford all sorts of stuff like food, a hat, a present for their kids. They've literally said this. They've honestly said this. They've come out and said, you know, we can't afford things. They've had wish lists and stuff where people can send them money and things. I mean, you only have to go on the TikTok to find all of this information out. So it's not necessarily the fact that they're having loads of kids. It's just the circumstances surrounding it. And yes, of course, there are going to be some people that say having 12 kids is just ridiculous. Like, obviously, that does exist. But at the end of the day, if this was a very well-off family or a family that could actually afford that amount of kids, no one would, very, very few people would be saying anything.
Some really awesome person went on the family wish list and spent like $2,000, and that was like so amazing. I'm flattered.
I don't listen to the haters, she said. Do they really think I'm going to be hurt by their opinions? I mean, come on. She rarely misses an opportunity to clap back at detractors on social media and said she gets a kick from blasting trolls who attack her choices, such as accepting welfare checks, not working and homeschooling her younger children. People get on my nerves when they say you need to put your kids in school and get a real job. She said, I'm like, you're a dumb F. Do you know how much it would cost the taxpayers for me to put all my kids in school? I feel like that's just like turning it around. I feel like every child is entitled to, I mean, please correct me, I don't know if you guys have to pay for state, like just public school out in the States, but over here it's paid. It's like, taxpayers. Even though you as a parent are obviously not paying directly, obviously the taxpayers are, but it was your decision to have 12 children. I've listened to this so many times. I've heard, I watched those videos where she was explaining how she had all of her kids and they then got taken down. I watched them and stupidly did not screenshot any of it, but I watched them before they were deleted, and let me tell you, she decided to have those 12 kids, or offspring as she puts it. She decided it, and just that's not an excuse. It's not an excuse saying, well, it would cost a lot for people, taxpayers had to pay more money. It's like, well, you decided to have 12 children, so you should be in charge of offering them a good education. And I'm not coming after people that homeschool, but if you've been watching this family, you know that there isn't a lot of homeschooling going on there. She says that she's Googled it and it's about 25 grand, 25k for a child to go to public school every year from kindergarten to 12th grade. Is that? It's actually cheaper for society if I keep mine home. That's not an excuse. Merit is only too aware of the cost of raising such a large family. Crunching the numbers, she spends on average $2,500 a month on groceries at Walmart, as well as fast food joints for a weekly treat. As for the kids' clothing, she forks out around $4,000 on various different websites and thrift stores. Okay, all right, okay, but how is she getting this money? This is what everyone is wanting to know, and she will put it down to, well, I'm an artist. She also colour codes her brood's outfit. Some wear green, some wear purple, some wear orange, and so on to reflect their personalities. We don't really do hand-me-downs because everyone has their own individual expression, she explained. I understand her wanting to respect the fact that everyone has their own individual expression. However, how can they have an individual expression if you're colour coding them? Anyway, beyond the point, Amy. The mum had to dig deep last year for the $3,000 purchase of a used school bus to transport all of them. At least the rising price of gas hasn't affected them much. Don't really drive anywhere, and if we do, it is never very far, she said. Besides, there are no mortgage payments on the 3,000 square foot house the family bought for a mere $20,000 in 2020. It was so cheap because it was a foreclosure and, as she put it, an abandoned fixer-upper. The residence has 9 bedrooms, some of which still require repairs. Now, I actually came across this Reddit post where Veronica was actually talking, having like an online chat on this post with one of her kids. I think it was like her 15-year-old, I don't know, having a little chat, and this is what the daughter said about her bedroom windows. So they're commenting on a post about air purifiers, and Veronica says, I'm trying to tell you it's dangerous right now, and then her daughter said, it ain't safer in my room with my broken windows. Now, I do appreciate the fact that some houses just need fixing up, but if your own teenage child doesn't even have a room with fixed windows, like, what is going on? We've also seen several clips of this house. There's mold everywhere. Like, I don't mean everywhere, but you just have to look at some of the ceilings. They're damp, they're fallen. They obviously haven't done any fixing. They have 2 bathrooms, one of which is like out of commission. I've seen TikToks and things in regards to this, and there's just some parts that obviously it needs a lot of renovating. They obviously bought it as a fixer-upper, but they haven't done any of the fixie-upping, if that makes any sense. As for full-time employment, Merritt, who previously worked at a gift shop, said she'd never be able to make enough money without bonuses from the government. She relies on a monthly child credit payment of $2,000 and $1,500 in food stamps, and the money she's received as part of the federal family stimulus plan, I think it amounts to about $3,000 per kid. Which this whole thing about like, I'm not going to send my children to school because, the taxpayers are having to pay money, just falls flat when she's already getting all this government assistance anyway. It just doesn't make any sense. She's doing things to fit her narrative. Honestly, I swear, it doesn't make any sense. Like, the thing is that I've seen her videos of her saying, why haven't we had another child? Because she thought that things would get better, so she just kept on having more children. I've seen these videos. And it's just like, and in this article, she's like, I want 5 more. It's like, you can't even afford the kids that you have. So why are you wanting any more children? Merritt claimed that neither of her baby daddies pays child support, although one covers the family's utility bills, which, by the way, they don't anymore because their power actually went out because one of the baby daddies forgot to pay the power. But anyway, she gets between 100 and 200 a month from TikTok. Her earnings depend on the total number of views she gets, and in a good year brings in 15,000 as a freelance artist. But the income isn't steady. I haven't been doing much art recently, the mum said, citing health issues. She contracted COVID-19 last month and in September 2020 had one of her kidneys removed. She's hopeful that the surgery will halt the serious problems which she's had suffered since childhood. When she was in her early 20s, her doctor advised her not to use hormonal birth control such as the pill in case it made her condition worse. I did actually want to be on it at the time, but she changed her mind after she realised that it was her destiny to have a lot of children. So this doesn't really make a lot of sense to me because she was actually questioned in a past TikTok. Is it still there? Is it not? I actually covered it in my last video, so hopefully I can get it up, where she was explaining that she will not allow her kids to use birth control because she doesn't believe it works. She believes that abstinence is the key, not birth control. But in this interview, she's basically saying like she's not taking it because she realizes that she wants kids. So which is it? So if you're not allowing your kids to take birth control until they can go get it, like if you're not allowing that until they're like 18, that doesn't really make any sense. Do you want them to have kids or not? Because you just said in this interview the reason why you didn't want to take it is because you wanted to have kids. So does that mean you want your children to have kids? Once again, it's not really making a lot of sense to me.
My children are adults. They don't need my permission to get on birth control. If my children are children, why are you even thinking about them having sex? Go on, why are you thinking about that? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? They're children. They can't give consent. In my state, age of consent is 17. Like, they can't get a tattoo. They can't buy a house. They can't buy a car. Like, what business do they have doing adult activities when they're children? Now, listen, some parents may disagree, and they may be like, you know what, 12, 13, 14, 15, that's old enough. That's fine. And you know what? Those parents can give their consent for their child to do the things that cause pregnancy, and they can get their child on birth control. But you know what? Birth control is not 100% effective, and it comes with major risks. And not just the risks everyone knows about, like weight gain, but it can also cause heart attack, stroke, blood clots, and the longer you're on it, your chance of getting cancer skyrockets. So why would I do that to a child who's not even engaging in reproductive activities? Like, that doesn't even make any sense.
Merritt is a strong believer in fate, and as a spiritual person who is in touch with the universe, she claims the souls of her future babies communicate with her even before they are conceived. It sounds strange, but it sometimes feels like they're whispering in my ear, she said, adding that she'd like at least 5 more children, but she's not dating right now. No, like from what we've read so far, are they in a position to be taking in 5 more children? Like, I know was this 2020? It doesn't matter. It really honestly doesn't matter at this point. They're not in a position to take in 5 more kids. Anyone who is even entertaining this idea has something seriously wrong with them, and I'm sorry about that. Details how she got together with her first child's father, but that bit's been cropped out for some reason. And then there was Merritt then hooked up with her second husband, Marty, the dad of her other 9 children. The former Navy man whom she wed in 2007 is also the father of the baby she's expecting, despite the couple being separated and now in divorce negotiations. Yeah, so the last thing you should be thinking about is trying to find someone else to have 5 more kids with. I wanted to be divorced from him as soon as I married him. He was immature, but I figured I wasn't perfect either. Oh, God. She opted to take her kids out of school 8 years ago and teach them from home, she said, because they said that they were being bullied. I take a relaxed approach since children can learn without having to sit for hours at their desk studying books. Added, she uses YouTube and other sites to help her teach. The ages of the school-age kids range from 6 to 17, but since some are at the same grade level in certain subjects, they teach them together. Okay, all right, I fit like, okay. My 8-year-old actually reads better than my 11-year-old, but they're all very smart. Yeah, I understand that, but then again, maybe look into getting them. Anyway, studies usually take place in the living room and or weather permitting on the porch. I can bake cookies with them in the kitchen. The measuring counts as maths class. And then she then goes on to say that basically her older kids have got to watch the younger kids whilst the other ones are doing tutoring because they can't hire babysitters, which once again, do not have, for the love of God, please do not have any more children. Like this whole thing just screams ridiculous. It's just so... Also, baking cookies for maths class, I understand it sounds like such an unschooling thing to do. I understand it, but that would only work. That would work for my eldest, and she is 6. Okay, that would work. That would be fine. But you can't do that for you can't do that for older kids. You need to be. Oh God, it's bad. I don't have an issue with homeschooling. I have an issue with this. Hands down, it's YouTube is not going to help them all the way. They do need textbooks. They do need to be able to do that. They need to do some form of online learning, and it doesn't sound like they're doing that. It doesn't sound like they are. I'm sorry, anyone can come get me, but it doesn't sound or look like that is what they're doing. Merritt has a deep suspicion of school authorities who she believes reported her in the past to Child Protective Services once she heard rumours that teachers thought some of the kids may have been malnourished. Now, this is alarm bell ringing because this is what strangers on the internet have been saying for ages, that some of her kids look malnourished, that she's not feeding her kids enough. People have been saying this. For her to tell this journal can't even talk. For her to say this to a newspaper is wild. This is wild. Why you're digging yourself a hole here. You're really digging yourself a hole. They weren't getting fed enough at school, that's all, she insisted. Whenever my son complained about being hungry, the teachers would say that I wasn't feeding him enough. It's just that he was used to eating a lot at home. I don't believe this because she only buys 2 days worth of food. She said this. She only buys 2 days worth of food because otherwise if she buys more, the kids will eat it all. She has said this recently. How is this not sending people's alarm bells ringing? This is what teachers were saying. This is people that actually know them in real life. Honestly, is this the reason why she actually doesn't want to send her kids to school? Because she's scared that people are going to call the authorities, or people are scared, she's scared that people are going to start talking bad about the parenting or whatever? Because I'm not coming up with this stuff. She said all of this to a reporter. I'm not here being like, hey, this is me inserting my own opinion and this is what I think they are. This is what she is telling a reporter, which is just madness to me. She called their assigned social worker who backed me up since she knew the truth and no further action was taken. How come you have social workers? How come you have social workers? Are we skipping a whole entire bit? How come you have social workers? Schooling aside, she said the most daunting task is trying to keep the house clean and tidy. The kids rarely help out, although one of their children used to pitch in with the laundry in exchange for a monthly $10 voucher for the online gaming Roblox. She lost motivation as she got older, so these days her younger sister, 6, is paid in candy. What are the older kids doing? She's literally got a house of tiny babies to 21-year-olds. What the hell are they doing? What are they doing? This is madness. You need to do 2 loads of laundry every day and more if someone has an accident. The challenges and rewards of the family's unconventional lifestyle prompted a friend to suggest that strangers would be intrigued by their daily routine. It took a few years before she fully embraced the powers of social media, and she launched her TikTok November 2020. Yeah, and ever since she's launched it, all she's done is cause controversy, begged for money. And if she's not begged for money by putting up GoFundMes, she has been hinting at people giving money. She has honestly said she has infuriated people. She only came on the other day and just randomly gave herself an autism diagnosis and then irritated a load of people who were like, you can't just all of a sudden pick a new thing. Anyway, if you want to go see it, just go watch it. Just go onto her TikTok. Honestly, there are so many weird things, and basically the rest of the article is just her saying that she was voted, was it most alternative or most individualistic whatever person at school. This whole family, it's just she's basically in this article, without even knowing it, she's really done herself in, because she's she's validated a lot of the concerns that a lot of people have. If you read that article, she's admitted to the fact that the school thought that her kids were malnourished. She's admitted to the fact that, you know, she just didn't want to be on birth control because she wanted children. She's admitted these things, but then she'll then do the complete, she'll then say the complete opposite. If you want people talk about how controversial Alicia is, and people talk how controversial some of these other people are. This is honestly a train wreck waiting to happen, this channel. And the sad thing is, this isn't even just a channel, this is actually someone's, like, people's lives. And I just feel really, really sad for just all of the kids in the house, which seem to just be treated as a number. And I'm sure she does love her children, that's not it. I'm sure she loves her children, I'm sure she does. However, she's out here saying that she wants 5 more kids when she can't afford the kids that she already has. It seems like she's just very addicted to having children, which, by the way, she did actually do a video on. She did an interview saying that she's addicted to having she's done this. She's done these different press runs. It's a really wild ride. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't ramble too much. Have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch up with you guys in the next video.